Hello everyone, welcome to SESI ICT. In this video tutorial, I am going to speak about basic machine learning algorithms used for data science. Here in this video, I am going to explain linear regression and k-means clustering algorithm for you, right? So let's start the video. So first of all, the table of contents for this video topic are what is data science. So you must learn about what is data science before start learning this, and you must know about data science process also. Along with that, linear regression and k-means, which are basic machine learning algorithms you are going to learn in this video tutorial. All right. So first of all, what is data science? Data science is the study of data to extract meaningful insights for business. So it is extract meaningful insights for business. To understand this, I will start explaining with a simple example. Suppose you already know association rule in data mining. So I am explaining the same. So for suppose, imagine person 1 came. You are running one shop. Person 1 came. He purchased bread, butter, jam. So person 1 came. He purchased bread, butter, jam. Person 2 came. Imagine you are running shop. Person 1 came, bread, butter, jam. Person 2 also purchased bread, butter, jam again. Person 3 came. He purchased bread, butter and milk. Person 4 came. He purchased bread, butter, jam again. So this is the data what happened in your shop today. Okay. Now imagine you are predicting 8 persons will come to your shop tomorrow. Then how many bread packets you have to maintain in your shop? 8 bread packets, because whoever coming, they are purchasing bread packet. And how many butter packets you have to maintain? Again 8 butter packets you have to maintain. How many jam packets you have to maintain? For each 4 members, 3 members are purchasing jam packets. So you have to maintain 6 jam packets in your shop. So milk packets, for each 4 members, only 1 member is purchasing milk packets. So 2 is enough to maintain in your shop. So this is, so by using data you predict something. This is a meaningful insight which is used to enhance your business. This is a meaningful insight which is used to enhance your business. Okay. So this is the simple definition of data science. So, and also it is a multidisciplinary approach. Multidisciplinary approach means it is not a single subject. It is a combination of principles and practices from the fields of mathematics. You must have understanding about mathematics, statistics, AI and computer engineering to analyze large amount of data. You must have more knowledge on this subject will be added advantage to learn data science. So this is data science. Okay. So next, data science process. You must be aware of data science process to understand basic machine learning algorithms. Why you are using basic machine learning in data science? To understand that, you must know about data science process first. Okay, right. So as you know, these are the steps what data scientist has to do. First of all, define a business problem means getting a problem to implement data science algorithms. What is a problem? Okay, so I will tell you a small example to you to understand this. Every day you are watching YouTube. If you are habituated of watching comedy videos, YouTube is suggesting you to watch more comedy videos. Whenever you start opening YouTube, YouTube is suggesting, yes or not? Of course, yes. Similarly, so many things. Whenever you are opening websites, suppose today you searched for some car, suppose Hyundai car. Whenever you open website, that car ad is coming aside in other websites. That is, they are tempting you. The that car company is tempting you to purchase that car. That is all because of data science. So data science scientists working background with these steps behind them. So by using these steps, data scientist is working, right? So first of all, what is define the business problem? So data scientist is getting the problem. So that is nothing but business problem. So collect raw data needed for your problem. So to implement data science process, you need some data. Yes or not? Yes. You must have data to implement the data science process. Either pre-existing or you have to collect from internet, like that. You must have data to implement data science process. Next, data preparation for process the data analysis. Sometimes you must clean the data, you must modify the data. So that is preparation. So you collected raw data using second step. So for the third step, you have to clean it. For example, you want to analyze date of birth of a class. Few persons send data using format DD, MM, Y. Some students send data MM, DD, Y. Okay, so DD, MM, DD. So if you analyze then what problem means? For second set of data students, month 12 they are entering. Their intention is month, but if you analyze, nobody will be there after date 12 because 12 months only there for 1 year. So if you analyze, it will lead to wrong result. So you have to change the data accordingly. So either you have to change DDMM YY format, or else you have to change MMDD YY format completely. So this thing, all these type of things and missing data, all these things will be understand and prepared process the data analysis. Next, EDA. EDA is very important phase. What is the data required for data analysis? That is understandable by the data scientist in EDA process. That all I explained in the previous video completely. Now the important step for this video is modeling the data. This is the very important step for today, because already data scientists understand what data is required. So to implement in computer, in program, you must know some algorithms. So that all algorithms are given by machine learning algorithms. So these machine learning algorithms are implemented using model the data. So these machine learning algorithms implemented in model the data. In our tutorial I am going to explain about linear regression as well as k-means clustering algorithm. So in the data science process, fifth step, those two algorithms are useful. Next, evaluation. Evaluation is nothing but self-checking. So suppose in software development lifecycle we can say testing. Here data scientists self-evaluate. If any mistakes find, then he has to start exploring from starting step onwards. If nothing is there, no problem is there, then he will produce the result to the or submitting result to the corresponding client, we can say. He is submitting his visualization and communication result. So that is the final step in the data science process. So all I want to say you is, to model the data in data science process, you must have knowledge on basic machine learning algorithms. So in this video I'm going to explain about k-means and linear regression. So let's get started. So here it is, linear regression. The linear regression model represents the relationship between input variable x and output variable y. So of a data set in terms of line given by the equation. So what is the equation given by the linear regression? Y is equals to b0 plus b1 into x. Y is equals to b0 plus b1 into x. So this is the equation given by the linear regression. Okay, now I will explain numerical example also. Just watch this carefully, then you will understand completely. So what is y here? Y is the dependent variable. So what is dependent? What is dependent? Suppose y value is, if you want to evaluate or calculate y value, that all dependent on these values. So x value, b0 value, b1 value. So here y is a dependent variable on x and b0 and b1. Okay, so x is independent variable, so you can take any value for x, independent variable. Okay, so one thing I have to tell you, data science is used to predict the future. By using linear regression we can predict future values by using existing values. So remember this point, we can predict future values by using existing values, right? Keep that point in your mind. So here y is independent variable, x is independent variable, and b0 b1 are b0 is y-intercept and b1 is slope. Okay, b0 is y-intercept and b1 is slope. There is formulas to calculate b0 and b1. There is formulas to calculate b0 and b1, and y is dependent and x is independent variable. Good. So the main aim of this method is find the values of b0 and b1 and find the best fitting line nearest to the data points. I will explain this through a practical example, right? So here it is. Example on linear regression. So of course it's a numerical example. Find a linear regression equation for the following two sets of data. Okay, this is the set of data given to you. You have to find out the first thing you have to do is, what is the linear regression formula? Y is equal to b0 plus b1 into x. So you have to find out a linear regression equation for the following two sets of data. Along with that, Apply linear regression technique to predict 10th and 12th value of x. Here it is given 2, 4, 6, 8 only. So you have to find out x value 10 and 12th. What is the y value? What is the y value? For x value 10, for y value 10. So data science linear regression is used to predict the future values by using existing values. That is the thing. Yes. So let us see how I will find. So this is the given data. X 2, 4, 6, 8 and y 3, 7, 5 and 10. Right. So to find a linear regression equation, we need to find the values of sigma x, sigma y, sigma x square and sigma x into y. So these are the given values already. X value 2, y value. So what is the value of, if value is x, then x square is 4. If value is 4, then x square is 16. Similarly 36 and 64. Okay, so what is the sigma x square value? So if you add all these 4 values, then answer will be 120. Similarly, xy 68, 6 to 28. So x into 8, 2 3s are 6, 4 7s are 28, 6 5s are 30 and 8 10s are 80. If you add all these values to get the sigma xy value, then the answer will be 144. Of course. And similarly sigma x, if you add all these 4 values, sigma x will be 20, all these values, sigma y will be 25. So to evaluate a linear regression equation, you have to find out these 4 values initially. So I did already, right? Okay, so what is the next step? So already these are the answers. So sigma x I copied here, sigma y 25, sigma x square is equal to 120 and 144. So this is the linear regression formula. This is the linear regression formula. So sigma y, sigma x square and sigma x into sigma xy. So if you subtract and if you do all the calculation, the b0 value remains 1.5. Similarly, n into sigma xy minus sigma x into sigma. If you calculate all these values, then b1 value will be 0.95. Okay, so then the linear regression equation is given by y is equal to b0 plus b1 into x. Then by after calculating this 1.5, this is the final result. So by using linear regression, you evaluated the value of y. Y is equal to 1.5 plus 0.95 into x. That is the evaluated value for linear regression. Now I am copying the same formula. So y is equal to 1.5 plus 0.95 into x. The second thing you have to calculate in this numerical example is we have to predict the value of 10. When x is equal to 10, you have to calculate the y value. So which is dependent variable on x, we already know. If x is 10, then if you put x 10 from the given equation, 1.5 in plus 10 into 0.95, which is equal to 11. Place it here. To predicted value for x is equal to 12, x is equal to 12 is 1.5 into 0.95 into 12 is equal to 12.9. Place it here. So this is linear regression, simple linear regression we can say. Okay, this is simple linear regression. Y is equal to b0 plus b1 into x. So by using that formula, by using B naught, by calculating slope, by calculating y-intercept, we all did simply. So one thing, linear regression is used to predict the future by using existing data. Here I predicted a 10 value and a 12th value. I predicted the future value by using linear regression. Okay, next, second one I am going to explain today. One more thing I am going to explain, that is K-means clustering algorithm. So clustering means separating the data, making some data under one cluster. Sending topper to A section, average student to B section, pass aspirant to C section. That is something like clustering. We are separating the data. So let us start explain. K means clustering. So clustering is basically means dividing the data set into group of similar data items called clusters. So if you place similar data items in one area, we call it as a cluster. See, after learning this topic, you will be able to know how to separate clusters using some formulas, right? Okay. K means clustering categorizes the data items into K groups with similar data items. So suppose you want to separate your data into 3 sets, then K value will be 4. If you want to separate your data into 2 sets, 2 clusters we can say, then K will be 2. So that is nothing but K. Okay, so K, you are calculating mean also, that's why we call it as K means. Okay, we are calculating K means. By using K means, we are clustering the data, right? So for measuring similarity, what is a cluster means? We are placing similar items into one cluster. So to know that, we have to measure the similarity. To measure the similarity, one of the important formula is Euclidean distance. So here it is the formula. D is equal to square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So by using this formula, we are going to measure the similarity, right? And K means clustering is iterative in nature. Iterative in the sense, it is repeated until you find the correct value, correct clusters. The process will be continued. Okay, so that is the thing in the last point. Next, steps used for K means. So we call it as algorithm used for K means. First we select the value of K. So first of all, we have to select K value, either 2 or 3, whatever it may be. How many clusters you want to separate your data, so you have to select the number. Don't worry, numerical example will be there, I will explain in that. Then we assign random center value to each cluster. So after selecting K value, you have to assign some random, you have to pick some random value, make it center initially. After assigning a random center, now we start searching the nearest data points. So after assigning a random center to clusters, we have to search nearest data point to that cluster. In the next step, we have to calculate the mean of the data points. Initially we are assigning some random centers to each cluster. After finding the distance with all data points, we have to calculate the mean. Okay, after calculating the mean, we search the nearest data points to the newly created center. So if you calculate mean, then it will create a new center for each data point. practical example will be there. First listen this. So again, newly created centers, we assign them to their closest. Again, we have to implement. We should repeat above steps until no change in the data points. So all these steps will be iterative in nature. We have to repeat it again and again to get the exact data point finally. So this is the steps used for k-means. Simply we can say algorithm used for k-means. Okay, now these are the algorithm. So I am explain in practical way also. So this is example on k-means. Let us consider we have data points given P1 13, P2 22, P3 58 and respectively P9. I have selected 9 points randomly to implement k-means clustering algorithm. Here when k is equal to 3, I am going to give 3 clusters to these data points. If k is equal to 2, then 2 clusters. If k is equal to 3, then you have to write 3 clusters. So first of all, what we need to take is, initially we have to take, when k is equal to 3, that's why you have to take any 3 data points randomly. So I am taking P7, P9 and P8. So I am taking P7 as cluster 3 and P9 as cluster 2 and P8 as cluster 3 randomly. No problem, you can take any point from the given list. So here I picked P7, P9 and P8, right? So step 1, find the distance between data points and centroids, which the data points, minimum distance to the cluster data points. In that, which means you have to find out the distance from P7 to P1, P7 to P2, P7 to P3, everything you have to calculate. So for that, I given a table for you. So these are the data points. I picked P7, P9, P8 as a random data point. So to implement this, you have to use Euclidean distance formula. Distance is equal to x2 minus x1 whole square, square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So this is the Euclidean distance formula. By using this formula, we are going to calculate distance from picked data data points to all data points. See this table. So I picked 3 3 P7. This is P7. We already see that. 3 7 3 7 P9. 9 4. Where is 9 4? P8. So call this C1. This is C2, this is C3. Okay. So now by using Euclidean distance formula, square root of, so this is x1, y1, this is 3 is x2, y2. x1, y1, x2, y2. So if you calculate Euclidean distance, x2 minus x1 whole square means 3 minus 1 whole square, which is equal to 2 square, plus 3 minus 3 whole square is equal to 0, which equals to 2. Here it is, the 2 is already presented. From this point, now this time this is x2, this is y2. By calculating 3 minus 2 whole square and 3 minus 1 whole square plus 7 minus 3 whole square, the answer will be 4.5. Similarly, from this point to P1, now this time this is x2, this is y2. 9 minus 1 whole square plus 4 minus 3 whole squares. If you calculate square root of whole, then it will be 8.1. What is the nearest value? So what I am telling you is, this is C1. I am telling you this is C1, this is C2, this is C3. What is the least value? Least means nearest, na? So that's why 2. So this P1 is assigned to C1, cluster 1 initially. I hope you understand, right? So you have to pick the least value after calculating Euclidean distance from each data set. You have to pick least value. So from this, what is the least value? Again C1. So it is C1. For this, C2 is the least value, that is it is assigned to C2. For calculating P4, what is the least value? C3. So it is assigned to C3. For P5, C2. For P6, this is C3. For P7, from that point to that 0. So this is why it is assigned to cluster 1. P8, this is 0. So that is assigned to cluster 3. Again P9, so 0 to 0. So you have to pick nearest value by using Euclidean distance formula, right? So you assigned clusters to the given data values. This is not, the process is not completed. This is iterative process, I already explained. So iterative means repeated in nature. So initially we assigned these data points to the clusters. Okay, after entering some clusters, here it is. This is not exactly clustering, means clustering. You have to calculate mean also. So see that P1, P2, P7. So to cluster 1, P1, P1, P2, P7 are assigned to cluster 1, C1. For cluster 2, P3, P5, P9. For cluster 3, P4, P6 and P8 are assigned already. Now we recompute a new clusters and then center is computed by taking the mean. So you have to calculate mean for all these. So how to calculate mean? 1 plus 2 plus 7. How much? 1 plus 2. 3. 3 plus 3. 6. 6 by 3 is equal to 2. So it is the new centroid values. 2 comma 2.7. Okay. Similarly for 3 plus 2. 5. 5 plus 3. 8. 8 by 3 which is equals to 2.7. This is the new centroid value. For this, one more 3.7 comma 8. For cluster 3, new centroid will be 9 comma 5.3. This is K means clustering. So you take the K value 3, you assign clusters initially and you are calculating mean value to get new centroids. Okay. Now iteration 1 is over. This is iterative process. It may take, you have to calculate. See, now this is the new centroid C1, this is new centroid C2 and this is new centroid C3. This is new centroids. Now what you need to do is you have to calculate. Now let us take new centroid points and repeat the same steps. You have to write the table again using new centroid values. What is the new centroid value here? 2 comma 2.7, 3.7 comma 8, 9.5 comma 9 comma 5.3. These are the new centroids assigned for you. You have to calculate the same again to assign data points to new clusters. Now this is C1 new centroid, this is C2, this is C3 new centroids. What is the nearest value? Again this is assigned to C1. By again using same formula, Euclidean distance formula. So x2 minus 2 minus 1 whole square plus 2.7 minus 3 whole square root. If you find the square root value of that, then answer will be 1. Then again using, this is x2 now, this is y2. Then this is x1, this is y1. If you calculate that Euclidean distance formula, square root of 3.7 minus 1 whole square plus 8 minus 3 whole square, then you will get answer 4.5. Similarly for centroid 3, then 8.3. Then what is the least value? Least means nearest value. So 1.0. That is the P1 is assigned to cluster 1. Similarly 0.7, this is also assigned to cluster 1. This time 1.3, this is assigned to cluster 2. 1.0 cluster 3, 1.2 cluster 2, 1.9 cluster 3, 1.0 cluster 1. This is the least value here, P8 1.3, so cluster 3, 1.2 cluster 2. This when the value is minimum means closest value, na, that's why it is assigned to the closest value. That is only the main theme of clustering. So I think you understand. Yes. So again, if you calculate the mean values for the given set of data, we are again getting the same values. Until we get the same values, you have to repeat the iterative process. Now for the second iteration, the values remain the same, so you should stop iterating to assign to clusters, of course. So the process is stopped. We got the same centroid and cluster groups, which indicates that data set has only 2 groups. K means clustering stops iteration because of the same data cluster, so no need to continue iteration. So until you get repeated values for 2 times, you have to repeat this process because it is iterative in nature. So this is clustering. So now if you write a graph for this, for iteration 1, so this is the green line, this is the line, of course I am making it red. Initial centroid is I taken P9, then the nearest values are this, and P8 I have taken for cluster, then the cluster became like this, and P7, then this is for iteration 1. After iterating, after getting new centroids, then the center point centroid is changed. Of course it remains in the same clusters, but the centroid is changed. You have to change the centroid also. So for this is used for iteration 2. I hope you understand this. So in this tutorial I explained what is data science and data science process. In the data science process, to model the data we have to use basic machine learning algorithms. So in basic machine learning algorithms, I have explained you about linear regression to predict the future outcomes, and second one, K means clustering. By using K means clustering, we can cluster the data values by calculating the centroid of the data points. It is iterative in nature. So that's it. Thank you.